Justin Trudeau's Liberals are asking us to do more with less. But are they? You won't believe how much Justin Trudeau spent on liquor and food in just 5 flights on his government jet. Remember when chubby Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro had the unmitigated gall to eat an empanada on broadcast television while his people were storming the local zoos and then eating the animals just to ward off starvation? Well, we have our own little version of that here in Canada. Of course, not even remotely as bad as that, but it's along the same theme. I mean, no one's eating a koala in Drayton Valley, Alberta, but the place is being turned into a ghost town because of the Trudeau government's failure to get out of the way of pipeline construction and resource development. But our struggles, well, they don't mean Justin Trudeau is dialing back the luxury in which he lives and that the taxpayer ultimately foots the bill for. Let's go through this order paper reply together so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, we cover these order paper responses a lot here at The Rebel because they require the government to respond in writing to a specific inquiry within a set amount of time. It is a very useful tool for the opposition to get real answers and to get around the pageantry and obfuscation we see in question period. Now, the question was asked by Ontario Conservative MP Bev Shipley. This is it here. With regard to the consumption of alcohol and food on flights taken on government-owned Airbus and Challenger aircraft since June 1st, 2018, on which flights was alcohol consumed? For each flight, where alcohol was consumed? What is the value of alcohol consumed? What is the origin and destination of the flight? What was the flight date? What is the breakdown of alcoholic beverages consumed by specific beverage and quantity? What is the cost of food consumed on each flight? And boy, what a question this is. You see, if you want to get to the heart of the high life that Justin Trudeau leads on our money, this is the question to ask. And I just want to preface this by saying Shipley only got results about the Airbus, which is the Prime Minister's less frequently used jet. Trudeau normally uses the Challenger, so we're just getting a snippet of what's going on here. Let's look at a couple of these flights. When Trudeau went on a 10-day world tour last November, you know, about the time when they were all telling us we only had 12 years left on the planet if we didn't change our frivolous and wasteful lifestyles. The food bill for the junket was nearly $143,000. The booze bill was nearly $1,000, with 53 bottles of wine being consumed and another 53 cans of beer. Let's look at one more trip. Trudeau's trip to Argentina. That's where he told the entire world that we all need to be on the lookout for male construction workers moving into communities to build pipelines and create more economic growth. The food bill for that trip was $103,000 and the booze bill was $923, with 57 bottles of wine being downed and another 38 cans of beer. Honestly, I'd love to see the Tylenol and Gatorade bills for these people after that much booze. We'll attach all the documents in the text body of this story so you can look at them for yourself and draw your own conclusions. My rough count is well over 200 bottles of wine and 250 cans of beer on just 5 flights between July and December on the Airbus. $4,039 in liquor for the Prime Minister and his friends. And for the food, for those 5 flights, the taxpayer covered $381,814 in gourmet food for the Prime Minister and his high-flying associates. But I want to put this in some actual context for you. I know this seems like a lot, and it is absolutely a lot, but let's look at it in terms of your family. Let's look at it in terms of the middle class and those struggling to get into it, as the Liberals love to say all the time. This Global News article says that the average Canadian family spends $220 per week on groceries. So the food bill for Trudeau's one trip to preen about being a feminist and bash our husbands and brothers in Buenos Aires could feed a single family for 470 weeks, or 9 years, or 9 Canadian families for an entire year each. Albertans are going broke. 200,000 of us are out of work. Veterans are using food banks and, of course, asking for so much more than Trudeau is willing to give them. And Canadians are still sleeping on the streets. Grassy Narrows has mercury poisoning. The Liberals are also making sure that the gas in our SUVs is being taxed to make us change our lifestyles, because apparently the world is going to end in 11 and a half years for those of you keeping track at home. And yet our failing, corrupt leader, Justin Trudeau, is flying high and living large on our dime. No changes in his lifestyle whatsoever. And look, I'm not saying that Trudeau and the dignitaries he flies with should pack a bagged lunch, but I don't think out-of-work Canadians should be buying a rich millionaire's booze and gourmet delights. I think that's only fair to ask. And maybe we can get those expenses in line with the quality of work that Trudeau does, as in none at all. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. What you just saw there is the daily video that I do here at The Rebel. But did you know that I have my own weekly full-length show? It's aptly called The Gun Show, and we talk about issues facing Canadian families in a way that you won't see done in the mainstream media. But to get access to my show and the rest of our incredible premium content, you need to treat yourself to a Rebel subscription today.